Hey, Druckenmiller, what do you think about Bitcoin? He says, Bitcoin was a solution in search of a problem. It found one. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and his very loose monetary policy. So he says, I've evolved on this. If you've done your homework, you'd know that 5 to 6 years ago, I said more than once, crypto and Bitcoin are a solution in search of a problem. So he's basically like, this is stupid. It doesn't need to exist. What the hell are these people looking for? We already have a currency. It's called the US dollar, you noobs. For the first move in Bitcoin, I think from like 50 to 17,000, I just sat there aghast. And by the way, consistent with our earlier conversation, I wanted to buy it every day. It was going up, and even though I didn't think much of it, I just couldn't stand that the fact that it was going up and I didn't own it. Fast forward, I never owned it from like $50 to $17,000, and I felt like a moron. Then it goes back down to $3,000 again. Then a couple of things happened. I highlighted in green here when I was reading it because I thought this was kind of key. So, solution in search of a problem. I found the problem. When we did the CARES Act and Chairman Powell started crossing all sorts of red lines in terms of what the Fed would do and wouldn't do. The problem was Jay Powell and the world's central bankers going nuts and making fiat money even more questionable than it already has been when I used to own gold. The second thing that happened is I got a call from billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Jones, and he says, do you know that when Bitcoin went from $17,000 to $3,000, that 86% of the people that owned it at 17,000 never sold it when it went down to 3,000? Well, this was huge in my mind. So here there's something with a finite supply, and 86% of the owners are religious zealots. I mean, who the hell holds something through an 86% dip? Sorry, who the hell holds it going from 17,000 to 3,000? And 86% of them didn't sell it. Add to that this new central bank craziness phenomenon. A few years pass and it goes up to 6,000 in the middle of the last spring. I got to buying some just because these kids on the West Coast are already worth more than I am, and they're going to be making a lot more money than me in the future. For some reason, they're looking at this thing the way I've always looked at gold, which is a store of value if I don't trust fiat currencies. Then the thing that Paul told me about the 86%, then the fact that it's been around 13 years. It has become a brand, right? So it's funny. I tried to buy $100 million of Bitcoin at a price of $6,200. It took me 2 weeks to buy 20 million. 1/5 of what I was trying to buy. I bought it all around 6,500, I think. And I said, this is ridiculous. You know, it takes me 2 weeks to buy 20 million. I can buy that much gold in 2 seconds. So like an idiot, I stopped buying it. The next thing I know, Bitcoin is trading at 36,000. I took my costs and then some out of it, and I still own some of it. My heart's never been in it. I'm a 68-year-old dinosaur, but once it's started moving and these institutions started upping it, I could see the old elephant trying to get through the keyhole, and they can't fit through it in time. I own this company called Palantir, and I see it announced that it's going to start accepting Bitcoin, and they may invest in it. That's happening all over the place. And you know, this thing is never going to have more than 21 million units. It's a fixed supply. So he's basically like, dude, I straight up don't know how this works. I don't like it. And it's fascinating to me that it goes up, and every bone in my body does not want to invest in it because it goes against my training. But oh my gosh, now there's all this legitimacy because Palantir and Bitcoin, who consequently went back on their word on it. So that's fascinating to see. You guys know I like Bitcoin, and I have some Bitcoin, and I've been in it for a long time. Yeah, it's interesting thoughts from a legend. Now he goes even more into the whole Bitcoin Ethereum debate. And this one's pretty fascinating too. And the summary of this section, Druckenmiller says, Bitcoin has likely won the store of value battle for crypto. Druckenmiller sees Ethereum as potentially a Yahoo or MySpace, an early mover technology that was replaced by a better product like Google or Facebook. And he goes on to talk about, I'm just going to summarize this one. One of the ways we've always invested in the private sector is to try and figure out where the engineering kids from Stanford, Brown, and MIT are going. So many of them are in love with crypto and that's where they're going. I'm worried about the talent. That's like 23 to 28 years old. Somebody, we don't even know who they are yet, might come up with a payment system for blockchain payments, smart contracts. There's a chance it hasn't even been invented yet. As for Bitcoin, as long as Jay Powell keeps acting like he's been acting, I think gold and Bitcoin seems to be high beta gold, are going to have the wind behind them. So he kind of isn't as optimistic about Ethereum as a lot of people are. And actually, I don't know if he doesn't understand it or if he just knows more than like so many people who are in love with Ethereum know. But he's kind of like, yeah, it's like the beta version, and soon enough something better will come out. But Bitcoin's fine. It's kind of like what he's saying in summary, which is fascinating. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that in the comments section. On Dogecoin, hey, Druckenmiller, what do you think about Dogecoin? Basically, it's all a joke to Druckenmiller. He just starts laughing when he sees it go up. He won't short it because he doesn't like putting campfires out with his face. He says, Dogecoin is just like NFTs. It's a manifestation of the craziest monetary policy in history. And I think since there's no limit on supply, I don't really see the utility of Dogecoin right now. It's just this wave of money in the greater fool theory. Now, having said that, I wouldn't short it because I don't like putting campfires out with my face. So I just try and pretend Doge doesn't exist. I think so little of it, it doesn't even bother me when it goes up. When Bitcoin used to go up, I'd go crazy because I didn't own it. When Dogecoin goes up, I just laugh. Don't go long and don't go short. I mean, unless you like going to Vegas, then I guess it's okay. Are any of you guys in Doge? I don't think, as far as I know, nobody's told me they're in Doge, either in the comments or anything like that. It seems a little bit like speculative and random for you guys who are attracted to this channel, which seems to be a little bit more, based on fundamentals and stuff like that. But I don't own Doge. And I feel like Druckenmiller, like with certain assets, certain stocks, I'm like, I hate myself when I'm not in it. I feel like I'm like, everybody's at a party and I'm not there kind of thing. But with Doge, I'm just like, not touching it. And I'm glad I haven't because it's been super volatile. Yeah, that being said, if you looked at my crypto portfolio, you might say, dude, some of those coins are like Dogecoin. Yeah, and that's one of the tricky things about crypto because there's no authority, there's like no laws, it's just the Wild West. It's like, hey, want to buy some snake oil? This snake oil will make you taller in 20 years, and it's only going to cost you $1,000 right now. You want it? It's just like, who knows if it's actually going to work kind of thing. This next one is really cool. I like this for those of you who are younger. Hey, Druckenmiller, what do you think about what's your advice for 20-year-olds? Career advice. He says, try different careers until you find something you're passionate about. Druckenmiller said he would participate in the investing industry even if he only made $50K a year. Prioritize happiness over money. The number one necessary condition would be something I was passionate about. Particularly in the investing business, the people that love it like me are so addicted to it and so intellectually stimulated by it. If you're not passionate about it and only in it for the money, you have no chance of competing with these people. They're going to outwork you and out-execute you. If you're American, and this isn't true for everyone, but you're probably going to spend 60 to 70 hours a week working. If you don't love it, you're going to blow all that. You're going to blow all that time. That's not how to be great for your that's not going to be great for your happiness quotient. I was just lucky. I followed my passion. My mother-in-law says I'm an idiot savant, and I wouldn't be good at anything else. I would do this job for 50 grand a year. Really would. I just love it. And I hate to see young people getting trapped in something. I would also say, keep an open mind. I started Bowdoin College as an English major. I took economics so I could read the paper intelligently. I went to get a PhD in economics and I went there and I said, these people are crazy. They're trying to shove the economy into a math formula. It just doesn't make any sense. Then I worked construction for 6 months. I got kind of a weak upper body, so that didn't work for me. Then I went to the bank and I found out what I was just in love with. So try stuff out. And if you're not really engaged during the day and you're not happy, move on to something else. Because there's something out there for everybody. But I would not let money be the driver. What I call the happiness quotient is the most important question in your life. Yeah, that's super good advice. The average viewer on this channel, I think, is like mid-30s. Like me. But I'd be interested to hear if you guys have any thoughts or stories on this. I've done so many different jobs. I think I've done more jobs than almost anybody I know. And I'm happy that I have, some of my current projects, I'm weird now. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I have like a bunch of random jobs now, but I probably work the equivalent of 1.5 full-time jobs Yeah, probably 60 to 70 hours a week or something like that. But I love it. And a lot of the stuff I do, I love, which is the key. And like I mentioned earlier, after the pandemic and after everything, tourism shut down to Japan and stuff, our take home pay has fallen like massively. But it's like okay, because it's like fun and I love it, So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Have a great morning for most of you guys, especially on the West Coast. And if you're over here in Asia, have a great evening too. Thank you guys. I love you and talk to you soon.